All right, folks. So Colin Kaepernick has drawn lots of attention for his protests each and every single week when it comes to the National Anthem. But in a recent interview, he talked about not voting during his election. He's been ripped by a lot of different people. Others say, look, that's his right. So I want to get our panel's thoughts on that. A. Scott Bolden, Law Victoria Burke, Eugene Craig. The question is here, does Colin Kaepernick not voting somehow diminish or take away his protest?
Absolutely. He needs to be ripped about it. I think Stephen A. Smith said it best when he said you cannot protest what's wrong with America and then not vote to change it. And people have died, people have protested, people have suffered for that symbol of freedom, which is the right to vote.
Yeah, I don't think there's any big problem with him not voting and waging this protest of police brutality, regarding police brutality. What we just saw in the Walter Scott case, you know, I don't know that you can make a direct line in some of these cases from voting to stopping somebody from getting killed in that way.
For elected officials who can make differences.
If you can make the argument that Eric Garner, if Eric Garner and Michael Brown and these people would be alive because we voted, I don't know. I don't know if I can make that direct line.
I think we elect the right sheriff, city council, and mayors, and federal officials.
Not given our history. Not given our history. I mean, I know what you're saying.
You're redefining history, but you're going to keep that going, yet you're protesting the same thing.
So you think Eric Garner would be alive if everybody voted in Staten Island?
I don't know. I'm not a prognosticator.
And by the way, the guy, the prosecutor in the Eric Garner cases, I see him every day walking down the hall because. Why? I mean, I don't think that you can make a direct line.
Not voting?
I'm not advocating not voting. I'm saying him not voting doesn't delete his protest and make it less.
I think it does. It's
no, it doesn't.
Inconsistent with his protest.
The thing is this:
he's not making it better.
Not making it worse.
The thing is this:
so he's not making progress. Then
he got attention on the issue. Nobody paid attention.
The thing is this: protesting will raise awareness, but at some point in time, you have to take real action in our civil society, and there's no higher action in affecting our civil society.
Hold on one second. Hold on.
Then voting.
But here's what's interesting. First of all, one thing that he's done is he's held various events for for young folks when it comes to knowing your rights. He's also stepped up and is personally distributing the $1 million that he said that he was going to do so to various organizations.
Right.
And so this is not somebody who's just kneeling. I certainly believe in voting. I advocated for on this show. I do not believe, though, that Colin Kaepernick not voting somehow makes his protest or what he is doing utterly irrelevant. I think I can look at two things at the same time, and I can say, okay, you did this and you're doing this. I don't believe that not voting cancels what he is doing.
Well, he's one of the 5 million people that contributed to not voting.
No,
and why we've got Donald Trump.
Actually, it's not true. First of all, 43% of America didn't vote. It wasn't 5%.
Wrong too.
No, I understand that.
Wrong.
I agree with you. I do agree with you. It doesn't diminish the other work that he's done. But when your biggest weapon, when your nuclear weapon is your vote, is your ability to have a decision, have a voice, and choosing your leaders, choosing the policymakers, choosing the folks that are going to come and formulate policy, that will hold police accountable, come and formulate policy, they're going to deal with sentencing reform, if we're going to formulate policy, actually want to deal with the issues that Colin Kaepernick is taking a knee for, I don't think you unilaterally disarm yourself on not voting.
You know, when blacks protest extrajudicial murder, we've got to be perfect. Colin Kaepernick has to be perfect. He has to be perfect. Why aren't we focused on what he's protesting?
We are focused on what he's protesting. The only way you get policy to actually deal with the issue, the only way you get policy to actually deal with the issue is by electing people that will push the policy.
Our country is full of examples of violence getting the same result.
Could you imagine if the prosecutor that Marilyn Mosby defeated in the primary had been the prosecutor in Baltimore City? Do you think he would have brought the case against Freddie Gray? Could you imagine if Don Donovan wasn't the state's attorney in Long Island when Eric Garner was killed?
There would have been another one there doing the same thing, and you know it.
The thing is this.
Give me a break. You know, you're trying to act as if voting is going to fix some of these systemic 400-year problems that we have, that the black community has dealt with.
Politics is a game. Politics, I would agree. Politics is a game of gradualism.
Getting back to the point,
politics is a game of gradualism.
It does not
but voting
negate
is
what
essential to
Colin
that.
Kaepernick is doing, that he didn't vote.
Could you imagine?
This does not negate it. See, when black people protest, they got to be perfect. They got to be perfect. Yeah, they do. They got to be perfect. They got to be perfect.
They got to be
Colin
Kaepernick right here on this show.
In North Carolina, white Republicans are voting and doing things to suppress the vote.
Right.
Colin Kaepernick, when he doesn't vote, is doing their bidding for those folks who are the same people who are oppressing
Whether he voted or not, that
black
would be
people.
happening. Whether Colin Kaepernick voted or not, that would be happening.
It'll be a strong step towards it.
You know what pushes back
You
against
got to do your
You know what
part.
pushes back against it? Organizing and getting people to the polls.
Absolutely.
Getting people to the polls.
So your party can suppress the vote?
No, I'm not listening.
And Roland,
I spoke out
you can
against,
see him not
I spoke out
voting.
against, especially right here on the show, what happened in North Carolina, what happened in other jurisdictions. But that's not representative of
That's Republican policy.
That's not representative of the
give me a
Republican
break.
Party.
It is
It's not representative.
Republican
It's
Party.
not
What
representative of the Republican Party.
Democrat is pushing and signing bills for voter suppression, voter ID? It's
I mean,
only
I think there's some Bernie Sanders supporters, some black
Colin
Bernie Sanders
Kaepernick
supporters
is doing their
that
bidding
probably
by
make a better
not
argument
voting.
No,
for
he's
voter
not.
By the
suppression than any
way,
Republican.
he is a role model, which means when he says, I'm not voting, his impact on young voters and millennials goes even further. That's why Democrats, part of why the Democrats are in the White House right now.
You'd rather focus on his
I'd
voter
rather that he
registration
vote and honor
than
those
him
who
kneeling
died before him for that right to vote. Yes, I would rather that he vote.
But we know one thing. If Colin Kaepernick chose to support tax credits for developers on affordable housing, Scott would be in his corner. We do know that.
But he's not doing that.
We do know that.
He's not doing that
All right, I gotta go
Colin Kaepernick does support the free market.
Yeah, right. There you go. There you go. Yeah.
$20 million a year.
What? You thought I forgot that? I thought so.
Kickstart your day at 7 and get the news you need from the perspective you want. NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.